Hello, my name is Christian Williams. This is the Circ06 C Attempt. Date is October 29th, 2021. Getting pretty close to Halloween here. Um, so for the C attempt on this Circ6 project, we are going back to the Piezo element a little bit to create some music. I'm saying going back to because I've used this element in previous projects such as the Strongman project here, but we're going into a little bit more depth here. I'm also having a lot of fun with this, similar to the Strongman one, because I essentially figured out that I can just play a bunch of songs on my Arduino now. Um, but focusing specifically on the C attempt, we are just copy pasting a couple songs, or this song and a couple lines of code from directly from this program here. So setup here uses a Piezo speaker, which we used as the bell in the Strongman attempt, and it uses a square wave at appropriate frequency, namely in hertz, to this piezo, generating a corresponding tone. If you set the hertz to the right frequency, it sounds like what we would consider notes on a scale. Um, we're also creating tones by this using this frequency here. And this gives you an example of what some of these notes, at least in this program, are using in terms of hertz. So we have this frequency, and this is how long it'll play for. Currently, we are having our piezo set into pin 9, which also counts as an analog. If you remember correctly, this is one of the ones with the little squiggly lines. We have our length, which is the number of notes, so our Arduino knows when to stop when a full song has played. And then we have we are using a char function here instead of integer, which allows us to basically assign each note the letter that corresponds to that note. So a C note, a G note, an A note, and so on. Instead of having to, for example, type in all the frequencies and so on, we can just say, okay, this is what C is equal to in hertz. And then we have our beats, which is pretty self-explanatory. So we have 2 is twice as long as beat 1, and 4 is twice as long as 2. And then if there's a space, like right here, which I've highlighted in orange, that indicates a rest where no note is playing, but our program will still play, quote unquote, it, just without actually setting any signal to our piezo element. So we're also setting up, we have a for statement here for figuring out how long or the duration of the tone is, and it'll set a on or off with a specific delay to that piezo element. That sets basically the vibration of the piezo, and that controlling that vibration is what gets us notes. This is where we actually play the song, so we are defining what C is in terms of our tone here, and D and E and F and so on. And then here we're setting up another integer for our 8-note scale here. And then the actual loop here gives us a pause between notes, which is the tempo divided by 2, and so on. So that's a fairly lengthy discussion of what it is. There are other ways to do this. I think in the Strongman one, I set each individual tone variable. So 9 hertz for how long, 9 hertz for how long, 9 hertz for how long, and so on. This is a way to kind of make it more universal so you don't have to do as much. You can just change the numbers here, or letters here, so I could make it play 3 A's in a row, for example. Oh, if I did have caps lock on, 3 A's in a row instead of 2 G's and 2 A's, that sort of thing. Basically, it makes musical notation a little easier. It also plays this song repeatedly on a loop, but the reason why you're not hearing it transitioning to real life is I have it unplugged because I didn't want it to continuously play the song in the background in this video. But I've already uploaded this code to it, so as soon as I plug this in, it'll go through its setup and then immediately start playing the song. And the tune is fairly recognizable, so So that is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or A B C D E F G, the alphabet song, and I'm sure that tune has been used for a variety of songs. Since this is set to loop, that song is just going to play ad infinitum. So I'm going to unplug it, just because I don't want that playing. So that is the Circ6 C Attempt. I will see you in attempt B.